Adam, I feel like you would have fit in perfectly in a pro show locker room.
If there's shenanigans involved, you would be right.
It's showtime. This is The Ski Show, the ultimate show ski podcast, and your one and only source for all things show skiing, bringing you news, knowledge, and interviews with the legends and stars of our sport. Here are your hosts, Matt Heilman and Adam Shallow.
Welcome to The Ski Show, coming to you today with our second episode on the closing of the Legoland show. This time hearing from dozens of skiers who share memories and stories, some very heartfelt, many reflective of their favorite times in Pirates Cove in that famed stadium. The closing of the show caught many by surprise, and the experiences at Legoland left a sea of positive memories for everyone who performed there. We've called this episode The Voices of Legoland because that's exactly what you're going to hear. Stories from many of the skiers who were blessed to ski in that famed stadium.
Today's sponsors are the Board Shop. All your summer and winter board sports gear is yours at bswake.com. The Paul Stokes Agency at American Family Insurance. Let Paul be your insurance agent. And as always, by FlymanSkis. Custom-made jump skis and featherboard swivel skis at affordable prices. Get yours at FlymanSkis.com.
We are 3 weeks to the Ski Show Awards. Just 3 weeks. Ticket sales for Think Tank and the award show are looking strong, but if you have not gotten yours yet, get yourself to thinktankwi.com and get registered. Go to the tanks and clinics. There is so much to be learned, so much collaboration. It is awesome. Go to the WWSF recognition dinner. There are 4 great Hall of Fame inductees this year. And of course, come to the Ski Show Awards on Friday night at Think Tank. It is the premier off-season event in our sport.
Matt, as of this recording, how many people do we have signed up for the award show?
So I haven't seen an update. We've been pushing it heavy over the last week. We're roughly at around the 300 mark.
Okay.
And we're on our way to 400, which is probably our capacity.
We'll find out.
Last year, I think we hit, what did we say, 368, 370, something like that.
Yeah, I'd like to hit 400. That'd be cool.
Love to hit 400. If you've been before, encourage your friends to go. You know what an awesome celebration of show skiing this is. Adam, what do people need to know if they have never been?
Well, it's the Friday night. So first night of Think Tank, Friday night, Chula Vista in the Wisconsin Dells. 7 o'clock is the cocktail hour. No show skier misses that. 8 o'clock, the show starts. The attire is cocktail attire. So I tell you what, in the past, a lot of suits, a lot of evening gowns. People generally get pretty darn dressed up. Matt and I will be in
don't let
a
that hold
tuxedo.
you from showing up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, don't let that stop you. But I did hear there's this happens annually. A group of girls has a theme planned out for what they're wearing, and
Yep. So and then there's going to be a dessert buffet. It is cash bar. All the video production done by Nick. I mean,
this is awesome, man.
Like, I think that's the big reason people come to this is the highlight video, the crash videos, and then all the work that he puts in for the videos and pictures of all the nominees. And it's just, we got 2 big screens, one on each side of the stage. It's great. So get your tickets now. We're going to be pushing 400. We're going to fill that room. Also, while you're buying your awards tickets, you got the WWSF recognition night, which is Saturday night. And then, of course, Think Tank, right? I mean, there's a ton of information, a ton of knowledgeable people that are instructing these tanks. It's great to kind of jumpstart your off season and get you in the mindset of show skiing for the summer.
Absolutely. We hope to see you all there. It'll help us hit that number, that 400 number. That'd be great. All of our sponsors on today's episode right now are also sponsors for our award show. And the Board Shop has been with us from the very beginning. The Board Shop is everything you need for your summer and your winter sports. And right now, it is prime snow skiing and snowboarding season.
Yeah, that's right. The Board Shop has everything to outfit you and the family. Skis, boards, boots, jackets, and so much more. They are fully stocked for the winter, but if you're looking ahead to warmer weather, which we all are, they've also got all your summer gear too. There's almost nothing the Board Shop doesn't have for outdoor sports.
That's right. And if you can, you need to visit their shop in Lake Geneva. It's an awesome place. But you can also buy everything you need online at bswake.com. That's bswake.com. All right, Adam, it is time for this week's Hot Takes.
You want me to start?
Dive in? You want me to start?
I'll start. I will start.
All right, let's do it. What do you got?
So my hot take for this episode is kind of a continuation of my last hot take, which I talked about how the scoring system is kind of eating away, I think, at the entertainment value of water ski shows. Comedy, scoring comedy. I mean, is it safe to say, Matt, that really doesn't get done anymore, given the scoring system? There's no chart for it, right? And it's just hard. You have to make 7 people literally belly laugh if you're going to get anything over 300 points.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting take because what it boils down to for me, like as a show director, is the known versus the unknown. You put out a comedy and we have no idea what it will score. No clue. But if I put out triple 4 tiers in our show, I know what we're getting. Clean triple 4s. I can look at the difficulty chart. I know roughly what we're going to get for execution and flow. I can point within 20 points what we're going to get for a triple 4 tier pyramid act. I have no clue what we're getting for comedy. It depends on the day, depends on the audience, depends on the judges. Yeah, it's interesting.
When did that change? Like, I feel like there was a time, and this was probably 20 years ago, where we, Mad City, would score comedy every year. And, I think there was a year that comedy was the highest scoring act at Nationals, which controversial. Yep. I get it. Totally get it. It's a ski show. But when did that, where we were, people were scoring 400 plus points on comedy, which is cool because, right, that's an act in your show and you can use that where you've got to fill anyway. So it tightens up your show. When did that change when, the days of seeing 400 or even 350 on comedy just, not happening anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I think a couple of things. I think there were whispers when we were scoring 400 on comedy that how should that stack up to triple 4 tiers or
that's fair.
25 girl ballet line or a 17 person barefoot line? Why does that stack up? So there were whispers about that, and then I think maybe that seeped into judges' education that let's stop giving 80s and 90s for comedy. This is really a 50 or a 60 if they put the time in and everybody laughs, ha. So there's a little of that, but I do think the difficulty chart era is also a factor in it because we give numbers to things, and then when the education comes out, the unknown, they're not wanting to equate that to something that has a number to it. So it's easier to give a low score to comedy than they are willing to give a high score for comedy. And as a result, you see fewer and fewer scored comedy acts.
Yep. Not to dissuade teams from scoring comedy, because if you've got something that's knock your socks off funny, by all means, please score comedy and prove us all wrong.
And we've talked about, number, like we did a whole podcast on 350 being the new 400 and what you want your show to score like. For the top 5 teams that have a goal of winning nationals, scoring comedy is a roll of the dice because you don't know what you're going to get. But for teams that are going to score lower, or a Division II or Division III team, it may be very well worth doing because they don't have 13 acts that are going to score 300 points. And so then for them, comedy becomes an advantage in their show.
Yeah, we've been in the position, we don't have 13 acts that score 300 points, so we've talked about scoring comedy. And the thing with comedy is it could do well at one tournament and completely bomb at the next.
Totally. It's
even if you do the exact same skit, the delivery's great. It all depends on the crowd. You're right. It is a roll of the dice, and that's my hot take. All right, Matt, what is your hot take for this episode?
So my hot take is related to the female show skiers in our sport. I believe that the current crop of female talent in show skiing today is the greatest group of females of all time. The current crop of females is the most this era is the most talented era of females there has ever been. Now, we're not talking males right now. That's a whole nother debate, and I've had great debates with people. Dave and I have had an awesome debate on this because we look at the 90s males, in a certain limelight. But this is just about our females. We've got legends in our sport. Cheryl Bermeo, Betty Bonifay, Cheryl Orloff, Sally Winter, Shelley Blum, all these names of people that have been legendary over time. We even started to see the uptick of so where I'm really going is today's group is more skilled overall, not just swivel. So swivel's part of it. Swivel has grown by leaps and bounds. I'm going to talk about that in a second. The overall skill, barefoot, jump, trick ski, shoe ski, like these girls are doing it all today. We started to see glimpses of it with people like Dee Dee Smith, awesome swivel skier, helis off the ramp, sky skiing, Rachel Zenk. You put Rachel Zenk in almost any era, she's a star. She was doing heli, she was money, awesome national champion swiveler. I think if Rachel was in her prime today, she would be doing flips and gainers like some of these other girls.
Sure, yeah.
But today, you got people like Bria Lebda. What a run of swivel she's had. Unbelievable. She's done things that nobody's done. Kaylee Kohler, first 3-time Willa Cook winner, her back barefoot, her swivel skiing, doubles, pyramids, jumping now, doing helis, all around talent. Sarah Fedorowicz, Josie Smirchek, these two girls, one ski flips, gainers. Sarah's doing one ski gainers. Unbelievable what these girls are doing today, breaking ground. Grace Petzold, talk about all around talent. Grace literally does it all. Bailey Hyatt, freaking winning nationals jump, doing one ski jumps. Bailey wakeboards, as well as does all sorts of other stuff. Gabby Tashworth, she was kind of a pioneer of some of these girls as well. Faith Dix, you see what she's doing today. Kayla Coffey, Presley Cup, like the amount of girls doing insane things leads me to believe that this era we're going to look back in 20 years and this is the heyday of women's show skiing. Maybe it continues on the rise, but right now we're in the glory days of female show skiing. I believe that there are 10 to 12 swivelers today that would have won national championships in swivel in the 1990s. Like, that's how good swivel has gotten. They are that good. There are 10 or 12 girls who would win it all in the 90s. And so my hot take is that today's era of female skiers is the best of all time.
I would say you'd be hard pressed to argue that. And the cool thing is of that list of names that you listed off, you're putting, I think, just about every single one of them on an airplane to Australia in March. And that's awesome.
That is awesome. Now that you mention that is freaking cool. We're taking a pretty talented group of males and females across the globe to Australia. That's going to be fun. So Anyway, I wanted to give a little shout out to our ladies with my hot take today. Maybe it's not that hot, but today's era of females is the best of all time, in my opinion. Keep it going, ladies. Keep pushing yourselves. That is today's hot takes. All right, Adam, here's something that's not a hot take. We have a way for you, for all teams, to earn $30 per person for your team. That's right. With the Paul Stokes Agency at American Family Insurance, you can earn $30 per skier. Paul is a long-time professional barefooter and show skier, and he is a fantastic insurance agent.
That's right, Matt. His tagline is "Get stoked, stay stoked." And "Get stoked" is what is known as his quoting process. Paul will donate $30 to your ski team for every person who goes through the Get Stoked quoting process, and there's no commitment to purchase. Just get a quote and get $30. That easy.
Yep. The website and phone number for the Paul Stokes Agency will be in the show notes. You can reach out today for your no-obligation quote. Get stoked and stay stoked with Paul Stokes American Family Insurance.
Okay, time for the main content of today's episode. Today we have the Voices of Legoland. The closing of the show hit many hard, but also brought up many good memories as people reflect on their time at Legoland and what the show meant to them. So let's dive in and hear from the Voices of Legoland.
Good evening, Matt and Adam. This is Pete Hegarty calling to leave my memories from Legoland. I'll do my best to keep this as short as I can. When I look back on my days at Lego and think about memories, the first thing that comes to my head is locker room shenanigans. And there are plenty of stories that cannot be shared, but certainly some that can be. Whether it was a quiet day sitting in the hood with Donnie Croft and talking old stories from the Gardens days, or a more energetic day with a new guy and he made his first ever four-man flip, and of course to follow that is his four-man light-ups. These memories will stick with me forever. I met so many amazing people throughout my time at Lego, whether they were world-class skiers or simply world-class friends. Many of these individuals are truly my best friends, and to this day, one in particular is my fiance, so that's pretty cool to think about. In terms of skiing, I have so many memorable times on the water. Many of my personal firsts were completed in Pirates Cove. My first one ski heli, first one ski flip, first one ski gainer, first two ski mob, first one ski mob, first back half, and first front half. However, more memorable than any of my individual firsts were the team jumps that I was lucky enough to be a part of. My first four-man two-ski flip ever in my life, my first seven-man two-ski flip, my first five-man one-ski flip, and the first ever six-man one-ski flip. And that's just to name a few. I am so thankful and I am blessed to have had the opportunity to ski at Legoland for as long as I did. I feel saddened for the next generation that they will not have that opportunity to ski in Pirates Cove. But we have to hope that one day another pro show will return. So thank you guys so much for doing this episode on Legoland, and have a great night.
Hey, my name is Luke Carson, and my favorite memory from Legoland was probably doing the four-man one-ski heli with Pete, Eli, and Ty on Christmas, and just jumping with my brothers and all the boys there. It's really fun, but the closing of the show is probably just going to take away a lot of opportunities for like some really good skiers and some people like me who weren't always like super good at jumping. So it gave me a really great opportunity that I'm super grateful for, and that's why I'm so good right now. But never mind. Forget about that.
Hey, this is Joey O'Connor, just calling with Lego memories, if you're still taking them. One thing I remember is in the beginning, first year or two, going down to back deck for swivel and noticing our swivel ropes weren't there, and looked out in this ginormous 10-foot gator, had the whole leader with all the swivel ropes. So, yeah. Anyway, we chased him down, got him back, no problem. And then, yeah, just testing the Lego outfits in the beginning. When we had to wear those, the girls had to wear them. And if you were taller, it helped out a little bit. But, yeah, those poor girls under 5'3" had a lot of trouble. But anyway, they adjusted them, eventually got them good. Yeah, it was a good time, and hopefully something will come back. But for now, it's just sad. It's sad in Winter Haven. So, all right, thanks for doing this. Bye.
This is Nick Smith. In 2001, January, I drove down to Lego from the Upper Peninsula with my dog Connolly. Every skier has a dog named Connolly at some point in their life. I didn't know a soul, and I left there with 25 of my best friends. It was the best 2 years I could ever ask for. I went down there for 6 months and stayed for 2 years. Some of my best memories when I was there was any night on Pete Hegarty's homemade boat out on Lake Daisy late at night. There's one night in particular where he was swimming for a phone at the bottom of the lake in the early hours of the morning. Any night on the chain was always a blast. A couple rum runners that went too far, and bringing down the house at Caribbean Bay singing karaoke. And then everyone getting through the ski show together the next day on like a Tuesday. It was the best memories ever, the best friends. I left there with a tattoo of a Lego brick on my ankle and a girlfriend that I still live with today. It was the best 2 years I could ever ask for. The show will be missed, and I will forever be grateful for Don and Linda Buffa.
Hi, this is Allie Krumrai, and I just wanted to start off by saying that the last Lego show was by far the biggest, most emotional show that I have ever been a part of. But on a lighter note, my fondest or favorite memories that I have from Lego have happened on the back dock with all of the shenanigans, whether it was pranking each other or Joe swimming underneath or Dib swimming underneath the dock and grabbing your ski, or making bets on the back dock. But specifically in the past few months, we kind of made it a game with Joe's SpongeBob flip-flops, and he would have them set out for all of us swivel girls that would come onto the back of the dock, and you would have to try to ski through these flip-flops. It was such a stupid but silly game, and I'll remember it forever. But I am so grateful for the chance to ski at Legoland, ski for Stars of Florida, and it is a super sad time for the sport of show skiing.
My name is Evan Marcus. I was very fortunate to have had the opportunity to ski at Legoland the past few years. I was able to learn so much of my time alongside friends, pushing myself while making, some of my best friends. And we were always trying new things at work, which made it constantly entertaining. But one of my favorite memories was a 5-person one-ski ride-over that we did. And we were getting really big into multi-person jumps, and we were really pushing each other. But one of these things that we had lined up was a 5-man one-ski front. And we had joked, if we make it off the south, we're going right into the north, and we're doing this ride-over. Sure enough, first or second try, we make it, and we look at each other, and we're like, whoa, here we go. And old driver pulls us around. We're coming to the ramp, and these massive swell rollers come right through, and they push us onto the ramp. Boom, boom, boom. Sure enough, we hit the ramp. Survival of the fittest. They're slipping, pulling, bumping. But somehow, we all landed it. We were celebrating like we won the Super Bowl, crying, laughing, and I will not forget how fun that pure joy celebration was. But working at Lego never ceased to put a smile on my face. You could be having the worst day, something could have happened, but when you got there, whether it was a friend telling you like, hey, grab your skis, we're going, or you enter the locker room and you just see the weirdest shenanigans going on. But never ceased to put a smile on my face, make me laugh, and put me in a better mood. So I'll always be thankful for the years that I had there.
Hey, this is Eli Carson, and one of my favorite memories working at Lego was, so this was like about a year and a half ago, I'd say, and like when I was just starting to work there, I'd worked there for a couple months maybe, and I was in the jump act, and we were doing a lot of double gainers at the time. Like some triple gainers weren't really common, especially because I was new and they like didn't trust me yet. So we were going around the corner, right? And apparently Joe was like, triple gainer, and I didn't hear him. So I line up to the ramp and Joe's like pushing on me, but he usually messes with you right before the ramp. Like it's pretty common for me to be doing a double gainer and Joe will like push on me or like mess with me. So I think everything's normal. And I hit the inside because I'm like inside on this quote unquote double gainer that I thought we were doing. And Joe, I didn't let him on the ramp. He hit a quarter of the ramp, landed upside down, and double ejected in the show because I didn't hear him say triple gainer. I didn't let him on the ramp. And I felt so bad after because it was like I had just been working there, and I made Joe Sawaska double eject out of his boots in the show. Thank you, guys.
Hey guys, it's Darian. I worked at Lego full-time from 2013 until 2023. I worked under Gary with WSSI and under Don with Stars of Florida. I like to say that those are completely two different eras. Two different chaos and all the things existed during that time frame. If you told me a year, I would know exactly which era that was. It was very different, structured very different during those eras. But I have so many memories in those years that I cannot narrow it down to one as my favorite. But my first memory is when I first started, I was a minor. I started in high school, and then graduation, I became full-time. My very first memory is the boys in the locker room started a pull-off calendar of how many days until my 18th birthday. And every day, this was in the ready room, every day they would walk in and rip a number off until my 18th birthday. And then the team had a big toga party for me, and that was fun and all the things. And a couple years later, the team had a 21st birthday for me, and that was a prom party. And, you know, just that family mentality and all that stuff lasted the entire time frame I was there. And it was so much fun, and I couldn't imagine my life where I would be right now without that. I honestly think I'm in a better place because of skiing professionally and being at Lego. Winter Haven is just not the same anymore with it gone. And, you know, yes, I decided to leave on my own terms full time, but I always thought it was always going to be there. And when I was old, I could pop in for a show here and there. And the thought of it being gone is really heartbreaking. And it's heartbreaking for a lot of people. And the memories will last forever. And the albums will maybe hidden on my Facebook, but there are some good memories in them. And just one day, hopefully, I always have faith that it could come back. You never know. Anyways, hope you guys have a good one.
Hey, what's up, Ski Show Podcast crew? You guys are crushing it. It's Kevco here. I'm going to kick it back to the Cypress Gardens days. This was 1985. I was 10 years old. I was taking trick ski lessons with Mark Boissard over on Lake Summit, and I was just learning a 180 on that trick ski. And we got done with the lesson, and he was showing me the venue by boat, and we pulled up, and the crowd was rolling in. Betty Bonifay, Pete Bonifay, Scotty Clack were walking around, and the crowd was just rolling in for the show. It's probably 15 minutes to show. Mark goes, "All right, Kev, hop in." I said, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, you're going to do your 180. And dude, I just started shaking, got up, pulled off a trick ski 180, whipped into the stage, and dude, it was the coolest experience of my life. I thought I was opening ceremonies for the Super Bowl, you know, but shout out to all the legends for being so cool and allowing punk kids like me to come in and, you know, hang out with you guys. That really made a big impact on me. Thanks.
Hey, this is Matt Strode giving a call in about the impact Lego had on me. I met pretty much all my best friends to this day through Legoland. When I moved down there in the start of 2021, and I moved down there not knowing a single person, and to this day keep in contact with pretty much all the people I met down there, and still most of them are my best friend to this day. And also I'm very grateful for the skier that it turned me into and the person I am today. They do a really good job of kind of putting you through a boot camp down there of essentially taking me back to the basics, fundamentals. Don Buffo is always huge on that, and I'm
very grateful for that, which humbled you up whenever you first got down there, and taking one step backwards, but in order to take it 2 steps forward and really cleaning up the basics and fundamentals, which in the long term helped me out so much, prevented injuries, and always just grateful for that, and the crews down there that were able to help teach me. A story that I can come up with that I deemed appropriate enough to share was my second week down there, start of February, a cold day. I got fire drilled, which essentially you got a group of guys in the boat, and all of a sudden they start acting like the boat's essentially on fire. So there's someone in the water, we're going to pick them up, and they got me up out of my seat, and they're like, hey, can you roll the rope on the back? And they had me standing on the platform as they pop the engine cover open. And all the guys are peeking their heads in, looking at the engine, being like, oh, no, this isn't good. Like, wow, like, I've never seen it this bad before. And then all of a sudden one guy just yells, fire, and everyone's pointing like, you gotta go. So I'm standing on the back platform, fully clothed. Everyone's yelling, pointing, like pushing me off, basically. You jump in the water, and the second you're in the water, you just see everyone start crying, laughing at you, pointing at you. And you're like, oh, man, like, I really just fell for that. And so had to get back in the boat, soaking wet, ride for the next, 3 or 4 guys on a freezing cold day, and everyone's just laughing at you the rest of the time. But definitely earned some respect in how you handle it, and just being able to laugh at yourself, which I think of that story, and it always makes me chuckle. But was able to keep the tradition alive and pull the same prank on a handful of other skiers that came after me. But that's a story that always brings a smile to my face.
Hi, my name is Joe Sawaska. I was just calling to leave a few memories of my time at Legoland, Florida. I was trying to recall my favorite memories, and kind of boils down to all my time jumping with all the guys on the team. Some of my favorite memories of most recent, we did a front flip over 8 cut unders. It was a lot of fun to try to mentally prepare for. We also did a cut under 9 guys doing a ride over. Me, Jordan, and Hunter Hanson performed a 3-trick line. Basically, we all did a heli flip gainer with 1 tow rope. It's pretty exciting to set up for that as well. 5-man crisscross is always fun. The 6-man one-ski front flips. Countless 7-man front flips we did. Performing a double twisted sister with Pete Hegarty, and achieving the 500 club multiple times. I'll top the list as far as my memories of jumping with the boys. I think my best memory will just being able to perform and enjoy my time out on the water in front of a crowd and living in the moment as a performer.
Hi, this is Jac Lyman, and I skied at Legoland from 2011 until 2016. My story today is about one of my favorite pranks that we ever pulled off together. It was more of a prank back. One time I was home sick, and Nick was working his second job at the wine bar, and he came home thinking that one of our friends had put a stuffed fake plush alligator at our doorstep. As he approached the door, he realized pretty quickly that it was not a fake alligator. It was indeed a very much real alligator. So we investigated a little bit, and we were a little nervous at the time. We had reason to believe that perhaps the alligator was put there for quite nefarious reasons. So we called all of the appropriate authorities, Florida Fish and Wildlife, I think the local police. And then after that, we started calling our friends to be like, hey, there's a dead gator in front of our door. You want to come look at it? This gator had clearly been hit by a boat. It had a big, huge hole in its head. It was super dead. It really wasn't going to bother anybody. So a bunch of us were sitting around looking at this thing, taking pictures with it, when the local police arrived, hand on his firearm, ready to take action against this very dead gator. It was really silly to approach human beings and a dead alligator in that fashion, but we laughed about it. Nonetheless, they called Florida Fish and Wildlife and they hauled the gator away, and we went inside and went about our evening. Later that evening, one of our teammates called and said, hey, we were hiding in the bushes the entire time. We didn't want to say anything, but we put the gator in your front yard. They'd found the gator, they put it somewhere else, they got caught doing the prank or whatever, and they didn't want to waste this perfectly good dead gator, so they put it on our front door. Well, by then, Florida Fish and Wildlife had taken the gator, and we got to thinking, well, that's pretty funny. They got us, right? Like, we totally thought it was something else. So I called up a friend of mine who used to be a police officer for the state of Ohio, and we had given him our show times, and he called our friend in between shows and said, hey, my name is Officer such and such. I'm with the state of Florida Fish and Wildlife, and you need to explain to me why your fingerprints were found on this dead alligator. This dead alligator came from Lake Okeechobee, and if I have to drive to Winter Haven, somebody is going to jail. We were in the middle of the locker room when this phone call came in, doing everything we could to try and pretend that we thought it was legit, but we were just dying inside as we tried to keep straight faces, knowing that he was absolutely shitting his pants listening to this cop telling him that they were all going to prison. Meanwhile, his girlfriend at the time burst into the locker room absolutely screaming that he needed to go ahead and out all of his friends that participated in the prank because they all needed to go to jail together since they did the prank together. I think at some point one time we finally broke down and told them that nobody was going to jail, but oh my gosh, it was hilarious, him trying to figure out how they lifted fingerprints off of a gator. By the way, they don't do that. Anyhow, those are some of the funnest memories that we have at Legoland. It was a lot of what happened between the shows that made it so great, and we'll always have those friendships and those memories, but it surely is a tragedy that nobody else will.
Hey guys, it's Roker here. Just calling in to give my little, memory of Legoland. One of the memories I have is when Ty Dibbs and I did a double one ski mode for the first time together, and the first time we went out, we talked about it and got it sorted, and then Dibbs was training some inside modes and all that kind of stuff, and then once we got together, we lined one up, and I ended up slipping off the top, coming around, thought I was going to make it, and obviously stuck straight out the front, pretty much folded myself in backwards, heels hit the back of my head, definitely winded, blown out of my ski. Boat came back around, got back up on the platform, and they were like, "You're done." Me wheezing and ego, and I was like, "No, I'm gonna put my ski back on. We're gonna get this done." So yeah, after that, got my ski back on, back in the water. A lot of pain, I guess. The adrenaline was pumping, so we lined one up, came back around, double one ski mode. We both stuck it, rode away, and yeah, that was one of my memories that will always stick in my mind as a core Legoland memory. But yeah, it's sad to see the Legoland show disappear, as it was only all year round show, but these things happen, and hopefully in the near future they can bring it back. But yeah, it definitely has shaped me into the performer I am today, put me on the stage, and now it's taken me to bigger and better things, and and I hope someday that it comes back so all these younger kids can do what we did back in the day and keep pushing it forward. But yeah, so hope you have a great day, guys. See ya.
All right. Hey guys, how you doing? Hunter here. I got a story for you guys. Might take a little bit longer than you guys requested time, but I promise this is a pretty good story. I first want to say, Brett, you're awesome. We love you, man. You took everything in stride. But yeah, this is my favorite story that happened in recent months and everything. We had Brett down for the fall and everything, and so one day we were at work and Brett said a comment jokingly around a fellow friend and employee that did work for Lego, but also plays for the other team. Well, after we told Brett, hey, Brett, we'll call this guy Steve. Steve plays for the other team. Brett just was informed. He didn't know. So John Stoss and Allie came up with a brilliant idea to get a plan how they can teach him a little lesson about the situation and everything. And they decided to write up a fake HR email from Lego about the whole situation, saying that a skier had been using some choice words while on the clock, and emailed the fake email to ourselves. So then we let it play out just before the 2 p.m. show, before everybody was hopping in their boats, titles, top show spots and everything. I pulled Brett aside and I told him that, hey, I just received the email from Lego's HR department, and it was saying something about one of our Stars employees talking a certain way. And I told him that we would sit down and talk after the show about this whole situation, about what happened. His face, when I brought this email up, just went pale right away. So I let Brett go, and we go do our shows. Well, Brett was ride one that show, so on the way over, idling over, Allie was actually in the boat, or Sean, I cannot remember. But Brett's just in the boat, muttering to himself, I'm cooked. I'm so cooked, man. I'm just cooked. I'm done. I'm just so cooked. And he's just freaking out the whole show. Like, everybody's laughing, like, talking about how Brett's just freaking out in the boat during the whole show and everything. So, anyways, we made him sweat it through the whole show, and then also when we set up for the 4 p.m. show. So finally, after we get all set up, I called him to the office, and I pulled Joe in with me, and we shut the door, and we sat him down. I told him to explain everything that was going to be going on, or everything that happened and everything. So I pulled him in, and I told him that Lego's HR department sent me this email saying about how some choice words have been said. I handed him the fake email with the sender and the receiver the same exact email address. I told him to read it and tell me if everything was true and everything. While he was reading the letter, you can physically just see him shaking. The letter's shaking. His eyes are starting to water and watering up and everything. And you just can tell he was just so nervous about the situation. I started to talk to him what we were going to be doing for the repercussions and like what punishments were going on. And I was explaining stuff, and then I just end it with, and we're just fucking with you. His body and face when I said that just went from shaking, watering eyes to his mouth dropping, looking at me going, no effing way. Are you serious? No effing. Oh my God. And he's just so relieved. I'm like, yes, we are just fucking with you. I'm like, but in all seriousness, no, I talked to him. I told him, hey, we can't be actually using these language. It's 2025. There's certain things we can't be saying around in the workplace. To make this story even better, like I said, Joe was in the office with me. Joe set up his phone and he recorded the whole office interaction all the way up and through him finding out it was a joke. It was awesome. Pure gold. I'll get the video to you guys and everything like that. But like I said, Brett, awesome. You took everything in stride, but that was definitely one of the top stories of this past year, if not like one of the best stories, just telling what shenanigans go on. And yeah, definitely going to miss those days. Thanks for doing this podcast. Have a good one.
Everything that happened and everything?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're fucking with you.
Seriously? Are you actually kidding me? Oh my
look who
gosh.
it's from, look who
I
it's
saw
to.
the Ty Dibbler and I was... Oh my gosh. You guys are...
But, on a serious note.
Yeah, I've been thinking to myself too, and I'm like... Gosh.
I think the stressing out is enough punishment for you, but just be cautious.
Yes, sir.
Around here, because we have a lot of the characters.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I was like, there's no way it was just because everybody says it to me, and I guarantee you he's heard it before. And I was like, yeah.
But we were fucking with you.
Yeah.
We just wanted to stress you.
I was like shitting my pants the whole ride one. I was like, well, there was my skiing.
Well, that was fun. I mean, we did the voices of Bartlett's when Tommy Bartlett closed. You remember that episode? That's what really gave us the idea for this one, because you love to hear from those that were impacted, those that, obviously impacted negatively by the closing of the show. But what I heard was the positive impact that being at Legoland had on them and their life. That really resonated with me.
Yeah, a lot. A common theme throughout a lot of those remarks was, that's where they made lifelong best friends, and that's awesome. I mean, that's an experience. Some other common themes, a lot of firsts, right? You heard a lot of guys talk about it was the first time they were in a multiple jump act, and they listed off some ridiculously hard jump acts that were done that they participated in the first time.
Fronts, all the stuff. Yeah, a lot of different jumps they rattled off. And first, like Pete mentioned, all those firsts that he experienced. That's so cool. Right.
Which will be, that's hard to replicate if you don't have a pro show. To have that kind of talent together on one amateur team, probably not going to happen unless it's a Team USA type thing, and that's only every couple of years. A couple other things that I heard a couple of different times. The word shenanigans came up a lot. Definitely a lot of that. Gators came up a lot.
Yeah.
With the gators swimming away with the swivel leader.
Yes.
My comment to that is they talk about, pulling pranks by swimming underneath the dock and grabbing people's skis. I would not be swimming underneath the dock.
No.
No. I don't want to swim underneath the dock in Madison. I am not swimming underneath the dock where there are things that can eat me. Not happening.
No, you're right. Great stuff. The shenanigans, obviously, they all have fond memories of what happens at the back dock, in the locker room, because those are the relationships you build with those people over time. That's what, professional athletes in all sports say when they retire. They don't miss playing the sport. They miss the camaraderie and relationships they built over time in that locker room. And that's the same here that we heard with Legoland.
Yeah. One last comment. There was a couple pranks that involved like the fake HR or the police officer. Like, dude, I felt when listening to those, I put myself in that position and I just
So we have video of that. Hunter sent us the video, and we can post it on our socials. But, oh, my goodness. They got him good.
Yeah, those are some good ones.
Yep. So great stuff. Awesome episode. Adam, we heard from Jac Lyman in this episode as well. And as you know, she and Nick are the power behind FlymanSkis. Nick ran that Legoland show for a few years. And show skiing is their livelihood. With FlymanSkis, you can get custom-made jump skis and Featherboard swivel skis at affordable prices.
Yep, you can choose a stock design for your jumpers or swivel skis, or you can go through the custom design process and have something awesome and unique to you. My daughter and your kids all have custom design skis, and they love them.
Yeah, they sure do. We're heading to Worlds soon, and I'm certain there's going to be FlymanSkis everywhere. Get your jump skis and Featherboard swivel skis at FlymanSkis.com. That's FlymanSkis.com.
And a reminder to get your tickets to the Ski Show Awards. And while you're doing that, grab tickets to the WWSF dinner Saturday night. And of course, Think Tank, so you can check out all the different tanks. Let's jumpstart this season at Think Tank. Again, award show, Friday night of Think Tank. Get your tickets, 7 o'clock cocktail, 8 o'clock show starts. Dress up. Let's have some fun.
Yes, it's an amazing reunion of show skiers in one place, in one room, having a blast, celebrating our sport. It's so much fun. Hope to see you all there. Thank you to our sponsors. They are award show sponsors, and they are episode sponsors today. Thank you to FlymanSkis, custom-made jump skis, Featherboard swivel skis at affordable prices. Get yours at FlymanSkis.com. The Board Shop, all your summer and winter board sports gear is yours at BSWake.com. And the Paul Stokes American Family Insurance Agency. You can get $30 just by going through his quoting process. Check him out. Get $30 per person to your team. That's the Paul Stokes American Family Insurance Agency.
And thanks again to all of our listeners and viewers. This is Matt and Adam, and this is The Ski Show.
Thank you for listening to The Ski Show, the ultimate show ski podcast with Matt and Adam. If you have questions or ideas for the show, find us on social media or message us at theskishowpodcast@gmail.com.